So, a couple weeks back I came across this theory by John Negroni. This theory places all feature-length films put out by Pixar up to date into one timeline. It's called the Pixar Theory. And this theory claims such things as Boo from Monsters, Inc. grows up to be the witch from Brave, and so much more. So the questions for today are, 1. What is the Pixar Theory? And 2. Why do theories such as these exist in the first place? This is the Oxymoron Podcast. I'm your host, Coeus, and I'm here again with Casanova.
Hello.
But before we get into this, I want to thank our subscribers, 25 and growing strong.
It's more than I can count.
Thank you. And please share this with your friends and comment your thoughts down below. Let's have a discussion. But first, what do you know about the Pixar Theory?
I know it links all the Pixar films, puts them onto one timeline. It shows how Boo from Monsters, Inc. can be the witch from Brave, and it shows how the different creatures and beings basically came to be.
So, The Good Dinosaur is the first movie in the timeline, and the way it plays into this theory is that the meteor missing Earth set our universe and the Pixar universe onto two different timelines. The next film in the timeline is Brave, and it happens approximately around the 10th century. And the biggest thing that this movie produces towards the Pixar theory as a whole is that Boo is the main witch from Brave, and that magic exists in this universe and it is a very big part of this universe and how it works.
And then in the 1960s is The Incredibles, and with this movie that helps introduce artificial intelligence and also shows the growing intelligence of humans, to where you end up getting things such as supers, which is basically human beings with superpowers.
In this movie, we see the first installments of artificial intelligence, and it is theorized that the supers are actually government agents that have been artificially affected by the magic from Brave. And then in Toy Story, we see that AI is slowly but surely more advancing without the assistance of humans.
In the movie Finding Nemo, you see where the intelligence of animals begins to develop more so also. In this movie, you can see where Marlin has to venture across the sea to find his son Nemo. For him to do this, the animals would have to have gained intelligence for this.
Next movie is Inside Out, and it approximately takes place around 2005. And the reason why it's so crucial is it plays on to the reason why Monsters, Inc. First, in Monsters, Inc., they have to get power from the humans, either through scaring them or later on to making them laugh. Well, the reason why this energy is so powerful and how they use it is actually the emotions you find in humans, which are played out and described primarily in Inside Out.
And then the next movie on the list, Ratatouille, also shows more of a development for the animal intelligence, and also shows sort of the rise of some different types of villains and evil.
Toy Story 3 happens, which has the same motifs. Up is a really important one. It begins to talk about time travel. It is believed in this theory that Charles Muntz, the antagonist from Up, discovers time travel. This is supported by a few things, primarily that this is supported by the fact that Carl has grown to be an old man in approximately his 70s or even 80s, while Charles Muntz, who was already a full-grown man that already accomplished a lot in his life, is still alive, as well as other tech such as
the invention of the collars, which you saw worn by Doug, which is the dog in the movie, and he was able to speak because of this technology.
So skip about 200 years and you see Cars 2 take place in this timeline, although there is some debate to which this one fits into it. But the current John Negroni theory suggests that Cars 1, 2, and 3 take place approximately 200 years later, and it suggests that AI has completely taken over. And then has completely taken over, has big long stories, develop a whole kind of community, and then it falls. After its fall, the next movie takes place. The next movie being WALL-E.
Also more advancement, but main thing is now there's nobody else left on the world, as in people. They're all they're in a spaceship.
Yeah. Side note on WALL-E. If you look at it, are humans actually better off on Earth? Because if you look at it, their lives during the whole entire time period of them being on WALL-E, approximately, I think it's it's around 800 years, but I'm not 100% positive. Approximately 800 years of them being on there, there's only like 4, even 5 captains. 4, maybe 5 captains. Each of them are living for, well past 100 years. Some of them even get into the 300s. So their life expectancy rose, and they're getting all the information they need. They're being taken care of and pampered to the full extent. Now you take them back onto Earth, and life wasn't really great. We know this because, it's not great here. So are they really better off?
Well, in that movie, you see a lot of them have become very obese due to that. So health-wise, I could see where it may have had some negative health impacts.
Well, the thing with that is if they're living to be 300 years old, is their health an issue?
I guess it wouldn't be too much of an issue. I could see where they definitely may have had it better off up there. It's just, to me, still the fact that they weren't doing much for themselves. I just don't know how enjoyable that would be. It seems like be kind of, you'd lose a sense of self-sufficiency.
Yeah, a lot of people argue that they weren't actually living, but rather just existing. Well, the next movie is A Bug's Life. This movie simply suggests that after the people of Wall-E come back and repopulate the Earth sometime later, that the animals begin to completely take over. And this is shown significantly later by Monsters, Inc. and University, where they have completely eradicated all humans and taken over and made their own culture. So in this movie, they actually suggest that the doors that they go through suggest that they are not a portal through space, but through time. That these doors are portals back in time to the days Toy Story and Inside Out and Ratatouille, as well as and Up, as well as some of the other ones. And they go back because they want to find the emotions to power their place. And Boo, growing up back in the year approximately 2000, grows up to want to find and use this magic that exists and has shown its capabilities back in Incredibles to find Sully. Through this, she gets lost and put back into Brave. So it all links everything up together like that.
And adding to that also, as sort of an evidence of the time travel theory, all the monsters, when they went through the doors, were instructed not to touch anything. That way it wouldn't create some type of weird thing that would affect them later on and would snowball into something else, or a butterfly effect type thing.
The butterfly effect is this. It originated by meteorology, the study of the weather, saying that small things such as a butterfly flapping its wings can later on cause hurricanes. This has been greatly adapted by time travel related movies and stories. It suggests that any slight imperfections in time can, even how small they are, such as stepping on a bug, can greatly affect what happens later on. But do you think the Pixar theory holds up?
I definitely see where it very well could. I mean, I think it would be really nice if they gave their own statement on it, but they haven't really released much talking about it. But I think it'd be really cool if Pixar came out and either confirmed or denied it to at least give us some sort of knowledge on if this is true.
Do you think they did it on purpose?
Originally, I don't know if they did. I don't feel like they did it on purpose originally, but I think maybe with time, as the origins of the theory started popping up, I think maybe some of the other movies did try to sort of go with it.
Okay. Well, it's been known throughout the entire history of Pixar that they like to put in Easter eggs and things that happen throughout their movies, such as the number A113. It is found in almost all, not all, but it is found in the majority of their movies. For example, the Pizza Planet car has a number A113. Otto from Wall-E has A113, as well as the other ones sprinkled out throughout the rest of the movies, with the exception being Cars and possibly a few others. I'll leave a link down to a video that shows all of them throughout these movies. But there also are other ideas that have added on over time to this theory. Most famous one that I like, personally, is Matthew Patrick's, or also known as game theory / film theory. His take on this is that the cars are not AI. They are actually bugs. And that it shifts the timeline so Cars doesn't happen before Wall-E. It actually happens after Monsters, Inc. as one of the last film.
That's definitely an interesting theory. I mean, I could see part of it because in the movie Cars, there are some like bug-like creatures that also resemble cars, and the cars themselves may be a more evolved form of those. So I could definitely see that.
Yeah, because if you look at bugs in real life, they have a hard shell, such as like a shell of a car, and they have various things, and it suggests that there's a bug inside the car, and then they have just taken these shells either manufactured them or found them, and it's kind of like a symbiosis with the machine parts.
It's definitely an interesting theory.
There are also other alternate ideas and other movies that fit into this that haven't been added yet, such as the new movie Coco, which I have yet to see, but it is theorized that this movie actually shows what death is like in the Pixar universe.
Interestingly enough, the Pixar Theory only includes feature-length films and not short films, because those short films end up creating problems.
Yeah, several problems such as, not primarily ones such as one-man band. Not one such as one-man band or other just side stories that have nothing to do with it. The ones that create problems are ones with the characters themselves, such as one of the short films it creates inconsistent continuity within the story. So, what is your favorite movie from Pixar and why?
Comes to my favorite movie from Pixar, that would probably have to go to really any of the Cars. I really like the Cars series, and that's just due to my liking of automobiles and the culture surrounding them mainly. And they make good references, or technical term, allusions to a lot of automotive things. Do you feel that Boo is the evil witch from Brave?
I don't think she's evil. I think she was trying to show Miriam a lesson. I do not think she is evil. In fact, I think she's a little bit lost, because if this theory is true, she's in a completely different time than what she was born in. Not to mention a completely different culture.
Very true.
Let's talk about, why do these theories and theories like this exist? Why is conspiracy theories so popular right now as opposed 20 or 30 years ago?
Well, I don't have a great explanation for why they're popular now, but in general why they're popular. I saw this study, I forget what the name of the study was, but it shows that humans as a species have a very high inclination to link things together and try to make sense and order out of things that happen. So I believe that's a fairly good reason. They're trying to make a sense and order out of the different movies, which sort of creates a timeline. And when they find things that can be used to prove this, help support that, it sort of helps support them doing that, and it creates sort of an order.
And it makes them, because your mind does like to put things in order. I'm very familiar with this. I'll leave a link down to a video talking about this very concept. But our minds do like to put things in boxes. But I think the reason why it's so popular now is because, unlike any time before, pop culture is really in its prime, more than ever. That's why we're seeing reboots. And a lot of people don't like reboots, but reboots or sequels is really popular because right now, people want information to come in. As much as people like to talk or hear other people talking, they want to absorb information. And often, they want to, not only do they want to bring the information in, they want to understand it. And to understand it, they might allocate things and put them into several boxes. So, what is the Pixar theory, and why do theories like this exist? Pixar theory is simply a timeline that puts all the movies in a chronological order. And the reason why these theories like this might exist, well, the jury's still out on that one. But we think it's because people like to be orderly. So tell us what you think of this theory and theories like this down below. What are your favorite theories, in fact? Please share this with your friends. This has been the Oxymoron Podcast. Join us back next week when we talk about why we like to destroy things. Thanks for listening.